Ice King here, and welcome back to the Frostcast, episode 30. Welcome back. It's been ages since we had one of these. And we are here with the new guest and permanent party. Go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Ross. Been hanging out with Frost at work, and found out we both love War Machine, and just been really deep diving the hobby, jumping into some Cryx.
Okay. How long you been hobbying? How long, or what hobbies have you done before this? All that stuff.
So my entry into hobbying, if you will, was really first edition Dungeons and Dragons with my uncle, which then became during high school. I jumped big into Warhammer 40,000, played 3 or 4 different armies in there. Um, After I joined the Air Force, there wasn't a whole lot of wargaming at my first duty station, so it's mostly Dungeons and Dragons. And now that I'm local on the East Coast, the War Machine is the big game, and I've just been falling in love with it.
Fair. That makes sense. Well, glad to have you. Happy to have you playing the new Cryx. We've been playing this week, and of course we are here with AJ, who's waiting for his time. His time to shine is now.
Hi, I'm AJ.
What have you guys been up to this week? Painting? Doing anything?
Yeah, I've been painting some Cryx models. I'm trying to get a couple more of my jacks painted up. Trying out some new basings, and then obviously we've been playing a couple bat reps, trying to get the new feeling out the Mark IV Cryx, and saw the new rules drop today. So pretty interesting stuff, that's for sure.
What about you, AJ? Working on anything?
Nope.
Nope. Have you primed the models I gave you yet?
No. It's
Okay.
like I'm 2 weeks out from my wife leaving, so I'm doing that. You're lucky I'm here.
That's valid. So thank you for coming. Yeah, that covers the intros. We can talk about. The last time we had a podcast, I just got back from Bocor when we were going to originally record this episode. I don't have to spend too much time on it because people already had episodes on it. But it was a great event. Seth, thank you for Seth and the crew. Thank you for running an amazing event. Had a great time. And yeah, I went 7-2 for the whole event. I did pretty good. I liked my Dusk. I learned a lot about Dusk.
Oh yeah, I've been learning a lot about Dusk too.
Yeah, I've been giving you the new Dirty Down cadre.
Yeah, there's something, that's for sure.
um,
Well, I told you guys like a year ago. I'm just saying.
you did, and nobody believed you, and then everyone was like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, wait a second, these guys are kind of crazy.
Everybody laughed at me.
They're like, Dust is okay, and then it like was doing terrible at events.
There's no way. What would do?
No, like when
I
Dusk,
still don't understand how people didn't do well with Dusk. Like it's
they're
it's a good army, right? Like it's pretty strong.
I think a lot of the problem was people who were playing it didn't have a lot of reps in with it, and they weren't running the good things. They were running like what they thought was cool, and like they weren't running 2 units of cats.
I mean, there's something to be said about that, though, right? Like there's, in my opinion, and as as off as it might be, right? I still think the core of these games is play the stuff you like. You know, like that's ultimately the cool models that you enjoy painting, that you enjoy putting together. Like that's the heart of the hobby anyway. And
But
that's
yeah,
what makes it fun in my book.
the cats are cool though, and they're really
No, they
good.
I will give you that. There's some pretty models. I have yet to really see any models that I'm not impressed with. Right? Like there's pretty good models in this game.
Yeah. Speaking of new
Tell you what
model,
it is.
go ahead.
It's that Dusk is vampire elves, and it's such a weird like niche going on. Because like if you look back, the elves in War Machine weren't the most popular army ever. So I think when they transferred to like undead elves, not a lot of people made the switch. So not a lot of like good people and enough people were playing them. But people with like autism, like myself, who can play War Machine in his head, like realize the power of these guys just by
I will
reading
say
and playing it over and over again in my head.
that is true. Having you on, even just watching the bet rep, the things you think of are just insane. Pretty good tactician, that's for sure.
Now, and this is was entirely unrelated. It's just about thinking of weird things you can see on the table. When we were at Bocor, Akers needed souls, but he was playing against Dusk, so you can't make souls. So he ran his immortals up to the cats, made them kill themselves so he could take the souls off the immortal, put them on the guardian to transfer it to the other guardian or something, and then use that to kill him.
It makes sense. Yeah, you got it's little weird plays like that that set people apart. But yeah, it's from playing a bunch of times and figuring out I need this. How do I get this with the like everything available to me?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of souls, can we talk about how none of the Cryx Warcasters in Mark IV use souls? But
Yeah, time to
there's
get
an
into the new Cryx.
entire head on the Malefactor that his purpose is to give you souls.
I think it's
I
I think
think
it's
it's got to be an
oversight.
oversight. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be changed. I would be hard pressed to believe that only one out of what there's going to be probably
There
4 to
will,
5 Warcasters, right? Realistically,
there will
I
eventually
would be
be
hard pressed
5
to see
casters, yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean, even with it now, I find it hard to believe that only 2 of them are going to use souls. I'm willing to bet that in future iterations, as more models come out, as it gets more fleshed out, that we will see souls being utilized by more casters.
Can the Jacks use the souls?
Certain jacks can, but the entire point of the Malefactor head, right? Like when we read it. Here, I'll pull it up real quick, right?
Yeah. Yeah, now we're getting into the rules of the new Cryx.
The soul claiming head, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when a living model is destroyed within 4 inches of the model of the jack, it goes, and the jack is within the Warcaster's control range, right? Its controller's control range. The controller, aka your Warcaster, right, gains the model's soul regardless of proximity to other models. So the jack itself can't use souls. Malefactors don't by default like have a way to use souls.
Yeah.
Hades does, right? Hades has a way to use souls. Malefactor doesn't. So riddle me that one, Batman. What's up with that? That being said, the new Cryx feels really good.
Dude, your arc node that can't be disrupted, by the way, and then it's 5 points, def 14 with dodge.
Yeah, 5-point Raptors, right, is pretty incredible. With dodge and repo 2 base, pretty awesome, right? Even if you're not taking the guns off them, I mean, we're talking you run them up, they repo 2. So we're looking at like 13-inch
Where's the
movement
repo coming
after
from?
the reposition. What's that?
Where's the repo coming from?
It based with the model. It looks like
No. Where?
The
with
head.
your beaked
Oh.
head, right? Which
Oh, yeah,
is same
yeah, yeah,
price.
yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. The beaked model gives you repo 2, right? Which is the same price as it's still a 5-point
Yeah.
model at that case, right? So you're getting repo 2. So you're looking at 13 inches of movement. It's an arc node. You can shoot spells out of them. You can really control the board. You start bringing stuff like Venom, and I think your opportunity gets pretty crazy to make some plays.
Yeah, between the two, I don't see why you take Death Ripper over Beaked Maw. It's a PAL 12
Yeah,
versus a PAL 10, and one gives you repo.
and realistically, if you're using the Raptors for the attacks, I think you're playing them wrong.
Yeah.
I don't really think you should be in melee with them,
No.
but that's my opinion.
So basically, you're gonna come down to playing the old Cryx where you either throw the Doom Spitter on him, which is actually a decent gun, range 8, AoE 2, power 14, or you just go with the cheap option of the Beaked Maw for the reposition. So
Yeah,
you know,
I think you're absolutely right. And right now, the Raptor seems to be the only arc node out of the Jack. So, and I don't really think there's too much to say about taking the other backs on the models. I think the Armor 17 is pretty niche, and then the Acid Blast when you're getting destroyed. I mean, you're removing concealment, right? But I can't say that that'd be worth not taking the arc node for, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
there's no way you're not taking the Arc Node.
Yeah, like it seems like the arc node being 2 points is just I mean, yeah, cool. I get arm 17 on a thing that's probably gonna die no matter what anyway because it has 20 boxes.
Yeah, you're just gonna be hard pressed to take it, I
Yeah,
think, over the arc node.
I would love to see somebody try to make the other stuff work, like the light spiker work.
Oh, I'm sure in one of our bat reps, I'm sure I'm gonna end up playing with it. I like to play with the goofy stuff,
Yeah.
But the the Jacks. Let's talk about Hades.
Yeah,
Oh
Hades is
my
pretty fun.
goodness, Hades can do some pretty cool stuff. I think I think Hades is in a really good place. The Soul Cannon feels really good. That Wraith Shot is pretty incredible. I think the only pitfall with Hades is getting excited to use it. And over committing your Jack, right? It's a really awesome weapon with some really awesome abilities, but over committing it can lead you to getting played. And the casters, you know?
Yeah, but on Hades real quick, his armor did just get buffed to 18, which I think he
Yeah, it
needed.
did. I think so too, right? That puts him at 20 as long as his death claw's up.
Yeah, and then 22 with your death ward or whatever.
22 if you're running death ward, right? I think that's pretty good. If you're spending souls to go incorporeal, you can really mess with some armies by doing that. Shadowgate, I think, is a little more niche. I think ultimately you're probably going to be using the souls either for Wraith Shot or for incorporeal for the soul phase.
Yeah.
But I think the army feels really good. I still think you're going to see probably 2 lists out of Cryx is what I'm kind of guessing out of it. You're going to see the same Bane lists that you see pretty constantly in a lot of Cryx armies where you're bringing a lot of
Dudes.
grunts, but in this case, it's Mechanothralls, not Bane anymore. The Mechanothralls, I feel like, are very worth their points. We're talking 5 grunts with gang, making them mat 7 as long as you have 2 of them, right? Plus Vengeance is pretty awesome. They're running 2 attacks each. It's pretty easy, I think, for them to earn their points back.
Yeah, I think
as long as they don't get blasted.
people overlook that they have 2 attacks and they're tough.
I know I overlooked it. Our first game, I didn't even remember they had 2 attacks.
Yeah.
And they still did good. I was still impressed with them.
Mm-hmm.
The new leader just came out too.
He is cool looking.
Viscerus?
We know what he looks like,
Well,
but he's not in the app. But like his rules are really cool.
Yeah, I think his rules are awesome. I think the retaliatory strike is pretty awesome. I would love to see him get some sort of soul ability, right? I'm not sure what that would look like, but hey, because he makes you want to bring Jax, right? Because the retaliatory strike really feels good on Jax. Especially, I mean, it feels good on everything, right? I'm never gonna turn it down. But if he got some sort of soul ability where he could repair models or something for souls, I don't know. Ultimately anything that makes you want to take the head.
Do you think the soul thing could be these 3 casters don't have it, but the next 2 will? Or you think it's an oversight?
I'm willing to bet that at least one of the 3 that are out now, at least one of the 3, will get some sort of soul play. But I think for sure the other 2 will if the intent is that these guys don't get souls. But honestly, I think it was just an oversight. I think we'll see that change just like we saw Hades armor change as the weeks move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely think it's a mistake. There's no way that Cryx casters are not going to collect souls.
Right. I feel like it's a pretty big Cryx thing, right? Like when we think about the lore, when you think about old Cryx armies, I think pretty much almost every one of them had a soul ability.
I'm looking right now, but I think they all do, but maybe the humanoid ones or the human ones.
But that being said, right, I still think Cryx is in a really good place. I think the new models, one, they look great, right? All the pictures we've seen, they look incredible. I think the rules for them are pretty decent, pretty awesome, and I think they play really well. You can already kind of see the synergies between the models.
Yeah. Did you see the +3 armor on incorporeal stuff for Nicaine?
I did, yeah. I mean, that could you can get a lot of your stuff incorporeal.
Yeah,
right?
you could bring Hades up to 23 without the spell.
23. I think we got a couple other dudes can go incorporeal too.
Probably.
I'd have
the
to.
Furies.
The Furies, right?
Oh yeah, they go up to arm 17.
I don't know that you're gonna be able to get your points out of them though. I know they have 8 boxes, right? They do collect souls, which is nice. Or not? Do they collect souls? What am I thinking? They don't collect souls, but if they destroy a model, they collect a soul and spend it. However you want to look at it, right? When they destroy or remove from play a model, they get to cast a spell for free.
I think you could even get your points back just by using the marionette. You have 3 marionettes on a stick. Marionette is sweet.
Yeah, Marionette, maybe that's where some of the points are coming from, but you're still range 10, right? Which puts you in range typically, if you're using it, you're within range of things that are really going to hurt you.
Oh no. You put Mariette on before we move something up. Like like the jack's about to
Oh,
charge.
true.
You put Marionette on the jack. The jack charges in. Now it's far away, but it still has the Marionette on it, so it can choose to reroll on it.
Yeah, I think maybe if you're playing a Jack-focused army, but at the same time, right, 2 Raptors. You can get 2 Raptors for the same cost as the Furies. And I honestly think you're probably going to get more use out of the Raptors. Just with the arc notes.
I think they're filling different spots though in your army. The Raptors and those guys. So
Yeah,
it's hard to argue that point.
I
You know
guess
what I
that's
mean?
fair. That's true. I think if you brought the Marionette, if you're using them for Marionette,
No, yeah, you don't use them just for that, but like that's a very like, oh, your guys are about to shoot, and your rat sucks. Give them a
I
reroll.
think I think the railing is, or the wailing, excuse me. The wailing is also really
The
strong on them
wiling.
though. The within 5 inches of the model, right? You can't enemy models can't cast spells or be used to channel spells can really lock down a lot of armies. I think the Furies are gonna be more of a niche pick, I guess, against. I think they'll do better against living armies specifically, or like caster heavy armies. Like if you know your opponent's really trying to cast a lot of spells, they could be really strong.
Yeah. On the Eviscerus dude, did you guys see what Chop Shop does and how it doesn't have a range on it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
It has a range on the repair, but if you send something out of your control range, it can still trigger Chop Shop, I think.
I think so. The way that I read it, I mean that makes sense, right? So
Am I
that
stupid
could
in
be
that, AJ?
pretty strong.
And I don't, this is another thing I was reading. His feat is with it lasts between 2 turns. So it's a
Oh yeah,
lasting
because you
feat.
dig in and
Yeah.
then yeah, I know. Yeah, because you dig in and then the next turn you can pop up with +2 speed and a focus point.
Yep. That is a really cool feat.
I mean, technically, it lasts until you move.
Until you activate it, yeah.
Yeah.
So it lasts the entire game, I guess, if you want to look at it like that.
That's cool. You could use it defensively like 1 turn and then like yeet somebody in there.
Well, that plus redline. I
Yeah.
mean, you're throwing Hades 13, 15-inch threat.
Disgusting.
No, 14, because he's only got 1 inch reach.
I think does
Well,
Malefactor
I
have a
mean, if you
2 inch
look at his
reach?
soul cannon, right? Malefactor can, depending on the weapons you take.
You throw
Um,
fucking fell axe at something. Grievous wounds. Throw that at
yeah,
Big
the
Pig.
grievous wounds, they could hurt. It could hurt.
Well, the Grievous thing, so it can't be healed, is the huge thing for Pig. It's what he's. How expensive is he? It's expensive.
Warbore?
No, Malefactor with the fell axe.
Oh, he's
Hmm.
13 points with the Fell X and a Ripping Claw. If you take the Overtake head, but he gets cheaper if you use the Soul head by 2 more points. So that puts
It-
him at 11 points.
you're probably gonna use the soul head just to save the points. So really, you're looking at 8. You can make him 11 points if you really wanted to.
It's pretty good. I think the spike shield's pretty cool too. Models gain
Yeah,
blast resistance. It's pretty spicy.
I don't hate the vortex cannon or the vexing cannon, but I don't love it.
I like that it also has a
Melee.
melee weapon
Yeah.
on there. I think for the points, I mean it's 4 point cost, right? It's the same price as the shield. Um, I wouldn't say it's bad, right? I think the turning an enemy's unit into like an arc node could be kind of crazy. But
Build a force.
I think it's pretty niche. I don't know what spells you would really be able to throw through there that you would
Well, you'd
really love
you'd
it.
range 10 hit a guy, and then from there you could cast, Venom, which is a
Right.
straight 10. So essentially, you're getting a 20-inch arc node. That's the old combo where you just throw Venom at somebody until they died.
That would work. If you're doing that, you could probably bring Plague Cannon or something, Spiker.
So
know, plate cannon feels good.
for 14 points, you can have a dark shrouded Fellax Jack.
Yeah, but with scything touch, right? Do you even need? Do you need? I mean, I guess at that point you could get -4 armor, but at,
No, it doesn't stack.
oh well then yeah, with scything
Scything
touch, do you need it?
Scything touch is Dark Shroud. Yeah, they don't stack.
They don't stack, but it's like you have that on. You don't have to now. You don't have to cast a spell. You can use that spell for other stuff, and like you don't have to worry about trying to position. You can spend that spell like another model that doesn't have Dark Shroud on a stick.
I don't know. It's 3 points for Dark Shroud. I think that might be a bit much.
I
It-
think
Investment.
compared to the other heads,
It is
right?
expensive. I just didn't know. It seems fun.
And you lose an attack when you take Dark Shroud because you lose your gore. Right? Granted, I get it. It's a power 12, but you still lose it.
Oh, you lose an attack. Okay, that's fair.
I think if you're going for points, soul claiming is going to be the best one. I think it'll be even stronger when casters have soul rules.
I mean,
But
Berserk is also
otherwise,
there's good reason for Berserk to take too. You'll
there's
just
I mean, there's good
yeah.
reason for every head, honestly. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at overtake. Overtake can kind of go crazy if you got people trying to stay right outside your threat. You know, you hit
Mhm.
somebody, you move into now you're engaging a whole other unit, a squishier unit. I think the jacks feel good. I think the ability to customize them like that, all the options make sense. They all fit a niche.
And even better, the jacks look fantastic.
Oh, I mean, Cryx jacks always look good. Come on,
Yeah, but these ones
Cryx
just
models are incredible. They were the reason I wanted to start playing the game.
it's
As soon as
valid.
I saw them, like these are awesome. I'll definitely be picking up a fair bit
Yeah.
of the Necrofactorium. That's for sure.
And you'll be doing the Cryx how to paint video on the channel.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've got a pretty cool paint scheme in mind.
You want to do
Calling
spoilers
back.
for it?
Yeah, why not? So, it's kind of going to be a callback to my old wargaming days. One of my favorite armies when I started playing Warhammer was Death Guard, right? But not the new Death Guard. The green just doesn't sell it for me. But when you look at the lore, right? I've loved the lore. I deep dive lore in pretty much every game that I'm playing, and now I'm deep diving into War Machine lore, and I'm really enjoying the Cryx lore that I'm learning about, right? But the Death Guard 30k, Horus Heresy, the grimy white with the weathering, the Cryx already come from the swamp, right? I think it just fits, and I think that the models themselves really benefit from that weathering, right? When you look at the cream off whites with the grunge of the swamp, the fiery red,
No,
I
big
think
agree.
they look really good. So
I think that also works with the jacks how they have like that the trim, like
right,
how they pay to have they have the
almost
gold trim. That's a really good color for you to do your trim, like the copper
exactly
trim or
right.
whatever.
They really, I think the models are just really good for almost whatever paint scheme you want to throw towards them. But with the vents, right, with the horns, with the trim, the spiky bits, I mean, Grix just looks great no matter what. And I think a nice grungy, weathered, grim dark Cryx on a bunch of swamp bases is going to be pretty awesome, and I'm really excited to put it together.
It's so funny how polar opposite the paint schemes are gonna be. Because we'll have yours, and then we'll have my fucking candy red, shiny, super gloss Garl gas here soon.
Yeah, it's been my favorite. Getting into the paintings, probably one of my favorite things in the hobby anyway. Um, I just enjoy it, and I like to tell a story with the models. That's usually my goal. Uh, we used to add when I was younger and playing 40k at the local game store at 2:30 in the morning with my buddies when we'd have models that did crazy stuff that they shouldn't have been able to do. Like I had a guy with a melt-a-gun bring down a Helldrake, which is this big
Yeah.
chaos dragon-looking model, right? And this one Space Marine takes him out with a melt-a-gun that all the odds were against him, and so we like marked up the guy and put extra paint on him and put a little the Helldrake head on his base.
That's pretty cool.
And I love the storytelling that you get out of the game. Like that, I think that's what makes it fun for me.
So every time you beat my dusk, are you gonna add a tally mark to your jacks?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna start buying dusk models specifically to put their desiccated, ruined corpses all over the all over the bases.
It's valid. I mean, they're pretty good right now. I'd say they're okay.
Yeah. You want to talk about Dusk? We could talk about Dusk. I can talk about Dusk all day.
Yeah, we played them a bunch. They do great into your army, and that's the problem.
I don't think there's an army they do bad against. I'm gonna be honest. They're
I mean,
awesome.
they're
They're
top.
really strong.
They're top right now. They're probably top 5. I mean, they're definitely top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I think they're pretty strong. You know, you're looking at an army of basically all speed 7, all rat 7, all mat 7. They have a lot of board control. They hit like a truck, and pretty much all of them synergize really well.
Yeah, the only thing we don't have
It's
is
a
a good
force to
heavy,
deal with.
and well, we don't have a good
Yeah,
non-character Jack heavy.
I can see that, right? The Jack, but you don't need it almost, right? With
No,
the
at
we
the
talked
100
about
points,
the
every Duskless is either running like Israfel, which is our good character Jack, like your Hades, or we're running Big Pig and a Ghast, because Big Pig's just good.
yeah. I think the gas is pretty solid too, right? You get the arc note on the head. He definitely doesn't. He's not something to sniff at, that's for sure. But just like most models, right? Catch him lacking, he pays the consequence.
Yeah, my arc nodes are 7 points though. Sad face.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to run some bat reps with some of the new models.
Yeah.
Try them out, see how they feel, and I think it's going to be really good. I think you'll be able to run. I think that they pair well with pretty much every caster as well.
Yeah,
So,
this week we'll play 75 points because now you actually have things to play at 75.
yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be good. I've been putting together my list, trying to get ready.
Yeah. Speaking of new armies, AJ, are you keeping dragons?
I mean, nobody wants to trade for him, so I'm gonna keep him, I guess.
Hey, if anybody wants to trade dragons for brine bloods, let us know.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll go with Gravediggers. You know?
Really? Ooh. I mean, I'm buying the punk chick, so that's at least gonna be happen.
Yeah. Well,
I'm buying the punk chick and their 80 mil. They're
I think
there's
their jacks look pretty cool.
yeah. So I know I'm buying Plugger, which is I think supposed to be their 80 mil character. They're super heavy.
Is he the super heavy?
I
Okay.
I think we deduced within the community that he's the super heavy. Or didn't they? No, Privateer Press posted or something about it, didn't they?
Possibly.
I think he's the super heavy, and I think Beaker is like one of the loadouts or like the character Lightjack or something.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, either way, I think their jacks look pretty cool. I was thinking about playing Signar anyway. And why not just get the new ones?
That makes sense. That way you don't have to deal with single wound infantry models probably that just get shot
Yeah.
off by Dusk.
Pretty much, and I got enough stuff to stick around.
Yeah, and then we can try out this new deep strike mechanic that's happening with them.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm curious how they're gonna implement that and make it fair.
Yeah, a lot of games do deep strike and it never works.
It definitely is a difficult thing to get
It's
right.
I think it's hard to do, especially if not everyone has access to it, right? Because if only certain armies, yeah, it's going to be really hard to balance. I think in the early, I would imagine it's going to be either really strong or not strong at all in the beginning until it gets tuned up.
Yeah. Oh, you probably haven't seen the Gravediggers, have you, Ross?
No, I don't think I have.
Here's the 2 that I'm buying, and then AJ can buy the rest if he wants.
Oh wow, those look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
they're pretty good looking.
Those look really good. Man, I love War Machine models.
Yeah, they're fucking sweet.
They're just so well done.
So
And
yeah,
they've got it. Oh, it's so good.
the Gravediggers like idea, and the community's taking them as the Helldiver army because they do drop ship in. And like
Oh, that will be a cool paint scheme. That would
apparently
be a pretty cool paint scheme.
the like jacks can like drop in new weapons to swap to.
Yeah, if we don't see like a black and yellow.
I don't know
With
that. I don't
capes
know
on
how
every
I would paint
model.
them. I don't think I
don't know,
like the black and yellow.
The blue and gold.
Don't
I
like
think
that. Definitely not doing
is
that.
okay.
I think I'm gonna do the yellow and blue.
You think you're gonna
I
do
like
that?
the yellow. I think I like the yellow.
Then, I guess you can paint your own models.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna. Yeah, if I give them to you, I want to have them for like 3 more years, and
You know
I'll
what?
be gone.
Look, all the red is done. All the red is done, and that's an
And it does
achievement.
look good. It
Yeah, it
does
does
look
look
good.
good, but
You can't
man,
argue with that.
it's been over like almost 2 years now.
When did I guess it has been? Has it been 2 years since Orgoth like first came out? Like we got
Um,
models in hand. Hang on, I have the
have to go look.
unboxing right here. I'm on my YouTube channel because I was looking at what the it was. Oh, hang on, it might be almost 2 years since we unboxed. Oh, August 2022 we unboxed Gen Con.
Yeah. So
2 years, yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow.
It'll have taken
Yeah,
me two
well,
years to finish this army.
as long as you finish them in the next month or so, then you could beat the 2-year timestamp.
So, but remember, they would have been done. I'm not saying they would have been done earlier, but there was a ton of delays getting the models initially, so we waited like 6 months just to get the starter boxes.
I mean, you can excuse it any way you want.
I'm
right?
100% doing this. I have to a little bit. This is rough.
Yeah. No.
But it will be my first completed army ever, though. Which is the
I
fun.
still have all my old stuff. I mean, I say that like I have finished painting all the old Cryx that I already have. Absolutely hasn't happened. But I still got all my.
But now
all
you can
my
use the
stuff on
old
the
Cryx
wall.
as like a test model for the new Cryx. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, luckily a lot of them are fairly similar, right? The Jacks, while you might not have like all the weapon variants, they're at least like fairly similar. They're all
Yeah.
the same base.
In terms of like prepping for tournaments, you have the models to play in person pretty much.
Right. Yeah, I mean the biggest one's to be picking up the Mechanothralls, which also, I mean I'll be picking up all the new models anyway. They're gorgeous. But the Mechanothrall models, I mean, can we talk about those? They look so good.
Yeah,
I
they're
know.
they're gross
I'm
and
so
delicious.
excited.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got so many plans for them. I'm pretty excited.
Actually, how I'm painting the Garlgas might be a good paint scheme for the Mechanothralls, actually. Like the skin.
I'm thinking like a purpley, pale, sickly skin, like they haven't seen outside in a long time, right? The
Yeah.
Necrofactorum to me, right? You know, Necro Factory, Dead Factory, right? And they're they're thralls. I'm thinking like purple undertones with like the pale, sickly vampire skin.
Yeah, that'd be
I
so
think
the
that'll
way
go
I'm doing
really well with
mine,
the cream armor.
I'm painting mine like the Dark Eldar Ratches, the Wretches. I don't know if you remember them from like the Dark Eldar days.
I never had any big Dark Eldar players in my group.
They're
Oh, but I did. Yeah, I went and I found them.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm painting
yeah.
that like I'm using a old paint video from that to base it off of. You could just swap the wash out for a purple wash.
Yeah, I've got a couple ideas. So luckily my days of painting hundreds of poxwalkers has taught me how to do decaying flesh
Very
pretty
quickly.
well. And yeah, and decently fast. And the new contrast paints that, like, I'm not here to toot the evil game stores horn or whatever, right? I think they try to play a lot of us, and it's gotten almost unfathomably expensive to play that game, the 40K game now. But
The
the
40K
the
game.
the contrast paints, you got to give it to them. They work. They're pretty awesome.
Oh,
And
dude,
if
we've
you're trying
switched
to
over to
paint,
Army Painter speed paints. That's the new
no,
wave.
I mean that's the new one, right? So, and once I haven't gotten to mess with the Army Painter speed paints yet, but I imagine they're just better versions. I'm
Well,
excited for it.
I wouldn't say they're better, but
They're just half the price.
They're half the price. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're getting the same quality, but you're getting like half the price. That's how I painted my entire red army. Oh, red's fine. I painted an entire red army. Hang on, I have another army painted that's my own. Just
Yeah. So
yeah. Side note that, but yes, I used the speed paints to paint all of red, and it turned out great. That's all AJ uses is speed paints.
I mean,
yeah,
they
now.
work, right? They're so awesome, especially if you're like trying to just get it. If you're not a super crazy pro painter artist, right?
Yeah, if you're just, I mean,
The
you're
speed
getting
paints
for
are
tabletop
great.
quality, it's like perfect.
They're better than tabletop quality, right? Like they're way better than just slapping a paint on there. Like you get the depth. It's functionally its own shading. I mean,
It's pretty good.
it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I don't think you can complain about that at all.
Some people do.
Well, they're wild.
They're wild. Yeah,
Look, some of us don't have like 1,000 hours to put into an army, you know?
that is facts. And I would I'm curious at how many hours I put into Orgoth. Like if you added them all up.
Probably
At
like
least,
2, considering how long it's taken.
let's say at least 6, right?
Oh, thanks.
yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
No, I'm just kidding. They look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I come in for work one day, and AJ goes, "Man, that gargle gas really fucking cool looking." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah, I was looking at what you sent me yesterday.
Yeah,
Ooh, that looks clean.
and what you guys have seen is more than the community has seen. They've only seen the red. They haven't seen that gold yet. That Iron Man gold.
The Iron Man gold.
It does kind of give off like corrupted Iron Man vibes, that's for sure.
Yeah, the gold is a little more yellow than the gold I hand paint on the rest of the models. Like the ones I hand paint is like a little more pale.
Are you just gonna wash it, or are you gonna leave it that bright?
Oh, I'm gonna leave it that bright.
Okay.
Because like that gold is also beautiful in person.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it looks great in photos too.
yeah, that's the gold that's underneath the red. And I've always hated hiding it, but now the model's big enough I can mask the stuff off. Because that's the problem with the other minis. There's no way I'm fucking masking 50 small Reaver troops. It's
That's
not
what I'm saying.
happening.
That's where them speed paints come in. That's where them speed
Yeah.
paints come in.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
You can't go wrong with that.
No. I'll probably do something speedy to paint the Signar lady. I just don't know how I want to paint her.
Which
Because
one?
the Signar, the new Gravediggers, they're just cool models. I just want the models. That's all. I also love Plugger's like giant like knives he's holding backwards and like the claw talon feet he has.
Yeah. I think the Gravediggers look really good. I think they're gonna be a popular army.
I know.
Curious about the rules though, because
Yeah.
Signar isn't necessarily usually the best army ever. So
I mean,
curious how
current
they're
Signar
gonna.
is pretty. I'd say it's up there.
I mean it's good, but it's not like top tier.
Yeah.
Always like middle of the road if that's what you're into.
Sometimes. Sometimes you got to cool down from the hotness of dusk.
Yes.
And it's mostly about the player behind the models too, right? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter how good your army is if you're not playing them correctly, right?
Well, yeah, prime example is Scorn for that one. Scorn used to be the meme, but now it like has the top win rate on everything
Oh, okay, because like 2 people play Scorn, and one of them is one of the best players.
in the world.
Hey, sometimes it's all it takes.
Truly. I don't know, audience. How would you paint the Gravediggers if you didn't do black and yellow or blue and yellow?
I think there's so many colors that go good with that gold, right? If you want to keep the gold, or if you want to keep the blue, either or. I think keep the gold. If you're not gonna go original, I think you should still keep the gold.
Like
Like an
the
emerald
like that
green,
like
like
that
a
Vegas
lavender
gold?
purple. Yeah, like there's so many colors that just pair so nicely with gold, right? You leave gold as what brings you to look at the model, and then you pick a nice complementary color to go with it.
See, I don't think that's gold. I think that's supposed to be like a flat yellow.
I kind of take it as more of a metallic personally, because I mean it's all armor, right? Like you don't see any gold on any of the claw.
I'm gonna go with it's
I'm
a
gonna go
flat
with like
gold.
it's like a brass or a gold flat. It's definitely more matte for sure. It's not as shiny as like the Cryx head she's standing on, but it's definitely a metallic brass gold, whatever you want to call it.
Colors that. What colors go with like copper?
With copper, you kind
Yeah.
of, in my opinion, you can get away with a lot of stuff, right? I think cream colors really go good with copper, right? Like I'm going for like a brassy copper look for
Oh, I
my
can't do
metallic
that because you're
picks.
doing that. Dang it. So never mind. That scratches that.
If you could go silver, and then you really open up the paint scheme. Silver's like the white of metals, right? Pretty much every color goes with it. But I don't know. I think the gold looks good, or the brass looks good. And
You
I
know,
think
it'd be
there's
a
a
fun
lot of
way to
colors
paint
that pair with
those.
it.
You know that
What?
like stippling effect with the sponges?
Yeah,
They're super grungy. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm gonna be using to weather my Cryx models.
Yeah. I might do that with them because they're supposed to be like. Yep. I just heard like that the cream like the dark grungy shot. Sorry, words just stopped working. The dark grungy like I'm dropping from the sky and fighting in the trenches.
Right, I think they would look good. Like, I don't get it twisted. I'm a huge fan of Grimdark on every model. That's my favorite way to paint. And tend to make mistakes. So
You can hide it, yeah.
the grunge tends to hide the mistakes decently.
Yeah, and with
Um,
doing the grunge on these, I can like not spend 40 hours on them and still get a pretty decent effect.
and I don't think you should spend 40 hours. Like, I mean, if you're really trying to go for it, but realistically, it's just get them to as good as you want them. Right? Is if you're happy with them when they're on the table,
Mhm.
nobody's unless you're entering painting contests, nobody's gonna be looking at them from closer than like 10 inches away, 10 to
Yeah.
12 inches away.
The
If
Garl
they look
Gas will
good on the
probably get
table, they
entered
look
in a
great.
few contests, but I don't know. I don't think he'll win just because like when I've talked to this about this with like couple like when I show this to people, they're like that's really cool, and then they're like, but it's off-putting to a lot of mini people because it's painted like a Gundam.
Yeah, it definitely right. It's like not
It's
like I
not a
said, right? It's not
mini.
my style. It's not my style,
Yeah.
right? But I never paint parade armies, so it's
Yeah.
not ever gonna be my style if that makes sense.
Yeah. And the other problem I have now is I've painted AJ's Orgoth as the highest I've ever painted an army in my life, and now I have to figure out how to beat that for my own army.
Well, good luck. I guess we'll see your army in what 3 to 5 business years.
Yeah. The
I
Dusk
don't.
Cadre should be
I
pretty
think we should have
quick.
fun with it.
Yeah, and that's why
I
I'm
think
having
Dusk
fun.
could be really fun too, right? Like you get some technical paints out. You know you really
Oh,
lean to the
dude,
vampire vibe.
I'm
Put
doing
a little blood on
cyberpunk
those
vampires,
teams.
baby.
Yeah, I think that's gonna look incredible.
I'm getting like they have like bright yellow UV paint that I'm doing for the base coats, and the cadre is gonna be all like fall autumn themed.
Yeah, I'm super excited for mine as well. I'm doing a little fluorescent in the swamp. Bought some UV resin to really sell the swamp, and I got some silica beads coming in tomorrow to do bubbles.
Did you get the 1mm beads?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just kind of Amazoned them and just sent it.
Let me know.
Just
Send me a
sent
picture
it.
of them because I might need a few when I do the water effects on the
Yeah,
Garl gas.
I've got
Yeah.
a huge bag of them, and I'm gonna be using them pretty sparingly. So
Dope. Cool.
yeah, you should be fine. But
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'll send you a picture later of the base progress so far. It's not ready to see the light of day, but it's getting there.
Valid.
Ready
Valid.
for public release.
Not ready for public release. I think soon it'll be ready. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from a couple guys that I really like watching, and just trying to blend it together, make something I like.
Yeah. That's gonna be dope. I can't wait to show, and we're gonna show everybody. We're gonna show the whole world your paint scheme, and by the whole world
Well,
I mean 285 subscribers.
By that
All
you mean 40 people that are gonna watch it.
no, we're almost at 300 subs. That's pretty cool. I just
that is
noticed.
pretty big.
I just
I think
noticed.
it'll be good. It's gonna be more people than have ever really seen my paint. So I'm
Dude,
excited.
you're about to
But
go on the traveling waifu wagon here to go play in tournaments now.
yeah, I'm super excited to get into the tournament gang. I have never actually played in a real tournament. It's always just been goofy little, me and the homies.
No,
So
they're
I'm
War
super
Machine
excited for some
tournaments are
tournament
a
play.
ton of fun. Like I'm happy
I
I
know
got
you're
into this
telling me
scene.
about it. Sounds really fun. The different events on every day, like I'm pretty excited to just dive straight into it.
Yeah.
And hopefully with a nice, beautiful painted army.
Yeah, you'll have your
Well-
army painted in time. I believe in you.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'll have my army on their bases. That's the goal. Instead of being blue tacked to the base.
Oh my god.
Do the War Machine tournaments not make you have the 3 paint minimum?
Nope, only
That's more of
Adepticon.
So that's more of a convention thing than
Oh, okay.
there was a format that required painted armies, but they don't do that anymore. But if you want to go to Adepticon has a convention requirement that it's all painted.
Right. It's you have to have, and they have to be like, yeah. There's a bunch of rules. Yep.
They have to be table ready kind of thing. Yeah, like my guys weren't even glued to the bases for Bocor Brawl for that matter. They were literally blue
Really?
tacked. Oh yeah, they were blue tacked to every base. It looked like I bought it yesterday and put it on the base the next day.
Dang.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was big into that when when I was in high school. My buddy Kenneth. That dude never painted anything. Right. And his models, he kept them in a no joke. Right. He had like a bucket. Like when you're a kid and you had those big plastic tubs that had the little handle on the lid. and they just clip to the sides.
Oh, you just dumped him out
Oh
on the
yeah.
table.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
dude, his entire 3,000 point army. Right, we're talking probably $700 worth of models at least.
Now
So at
that's
least
like,
6
hang on,
models. That's like
that's
8
like 10
models.
grand now, by the way.
Yeah, probably. Realistically, I think I think Warhammer models might be better than investing in stocks. Honestly, you get in early enough.
Yeah.
And what's even
But
crazier is it sells out, and then you can sell it for profit on eBay.
oh yeah, that's scummy. You know, you just
Yeah,
keep
but
them for 2
that's your
years.
stock
Model goes
investment.
out of. You keep them for 2 years. The model goes out of production, and then people are like, "Wow, that's a cool model. I want that." Boom, profit, right?
Yeah.
But he would spend, no joke, the first hour and a half of us. So like, he would never be in the first game because he had to spend the first hour and a half we were at the game store gluing his models back together.
That's awesome. Good for him. You know, dedication.
He's something, man. I love that guy. He's a
Ugh,
trip. I
sounds
remember
like it.
his bikes used to break right at the where the base would meet the little plastic stand that makes them hover bikes.
Oh,
Dude, so half his hover bikes were either doing fat wheelies or nose diving into the ground. Because when they break flush like that, it's almost impossible to put them back. Oh, it's so good.
yeah, those old like plastic flying stands were awful.
I loved them, man. I mean, I played Tau back in the day, so I had a lot of
Okay.
flying bases.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the little
I like
Gundam
how they've
dudes.
done the tactical rocks to make things fly, and it's like way more stable.
Oh yeah, they needed to. I mean, shoot, you drop a model, it's over.
Yep.
So
The only thing else I wanted to talk about today was I want to talk about the Colossals, which I don't know that you've read a lot of them, Ross, but AJ, wanted to hear your thoughts on all the new Colossals that are out.
So I don't know if any of them are top tier,
Yeah.
but I think they're all fun in the sense that, like, so we'll just go in order. So Kador.
I think that actually, who?
So okay, so Kador's we'll see play because everything else is not great. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's the best of the ones that are released so far, but I still don't think it's good. I think it's got a lot of shots, which is cool, kind of like their old one did, where it can kind of do the shoot you with a bunch of blast damage. That army that played it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Talking about the Mastodon.
Yeah.
Um, it's 62 boxes, which is huge. So it's gonna have some staying power, but it suffers from the. Is it going to have enough attacks to make up its like 30 plus point? You know, because it'll kill a unit or two, but is that even if it kills 2 units of cats, that's pretty huge, but that still's not making up its points.
Yeah. It
So
can be speed 6 though.
I mean, cool, I guess.
I mean, it's better than the other ones. Is
I mean,
Carl Gas what? Speed 4 or 5?
hang on, we'll just go down the line. So, Signar doesn't have one. Chimera doesn't have one. So then, yeah, I guess the next one is gonna be the Orgoth one. So the Orgoth one I like just because it's a cool model.
Super
It's
cool
speed
looking.
5. Um, but and it's got some cute tricks, right? But nothing that's gonna really pay off. Like it's got the whole web spinner head where it can drag and shadow bind you in, so you can boost a hit with a rat 5, so it's not like awful. Then drag something in, and then you're shadow bound with -3 defense. That's kind of cute, but it's
Def
again, it's
8,
like
Arm
30,
18.
30 points. So the def 8, it's whatever. Like it's a colossal. It's gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Like I think the biggest colossal has the defense like 10 or 11 in the old game, and that's
Uh,
like one of the birds maybe has 12.
the Ret Coloss could get to 14,
But what was its base? 12, right?
10,
10.
and then it
Yeah.
had
So
a
there you go.
had a thing
So
on it that would basically always put it at 12.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the defense never matter, but armor 18 is kind of weak for a colossal, but it does make up for it with having 72 boxes. Um, The benefits here are it's speed 5. It does not suffer from the thing the Cadre do, the spell ward. So you can buff it in certain ways, and I'm curious to see when the next Orgoth army comes out if it's got ways to buff its speed, because obviously
The
Red
or
Line
next
doesn't work
Orgoth
on
army
that.
won't be playing that.
Oh, it's a Sea Raider monstrosity. Good point. I was thinking it was Cadre.
So no, yeah, it's so, and that's why they're doing. They came out and said that's why they're doing all the Colossals. The name of the Khador model is the Mastodon.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the way they're doing all the Colossals is they will be independent to that army. Because they said they were having too much issues trying to match them with both armies and let them fit both roles.
Okay.
So what we're getting is 5 more Colossals, which is cool.
Yeah, that's always cool. The Abyssal King again. I don't know if the current armies that Brian Bloods runs. I don't know if it wants to give up like 2 to 3 dire trolls for it, and it definitely doesn't want to give up. Like it doesn't fit in Shadow Tongue. I don't think.
I think
Um,
he fits with Boom Howler. And I think what he does is he gives them a pretty decent gun platform that they don't
sure.
have.
So what are you thinking? Like,
Because what was it? Adam, because Adam was like, dude, boom, like apparently can get the defense 15 or something. Friendly faction models gain
for
+2
what?
defense, so there's defense 12.
Uh huh.
I'm trying to think. I don't know how he said 15,
Well,
but
that's for one turn though, right?
yeah, there was.
They have a spell.
Oh, you can have rough seas on it. That's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. But there again, is it worth, a third of your army to invest in it? And I don't see it right now. Um, it's got a cute gun that has critical knockdown with a rat 4, so you're
Yeah,
gonna be
all the
boosting that.
Colossals rat really bothers me because they're all super low.
Well, it has to be, otherwise it would be really broken.
Yeah,
I'm sure Dusk will have like rat 7, so don't worry about it.
I was gonna say I think Dusk will probably be the one that has the rat 6 base,
Yeah.
and and that's the other thing. The Dusk has the best base stat heavy jack. It's like
What
12.
doesn't Dusk do, you know?
But the thing is, the heavy jack is not great because it's so expensive. But like the space stats are 12, 19 defense armor. It's a 7/7 or like a 7/6 Matt Rat.
Yeah.
It's really good, but like it's just too expensive because they're making you pay for like the shoulder weapon that you never really use.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I just don't. In the current iteration, I don't see the Colossals. Um, like we could see something where it comes out and there's like double Colossal could be a list. Um, but currently, I think when Signar gets a Colossal, it might be worth it because I think they have access to Jackhammer
They do
or
with
somebody
Sparkhammer.
does. Yeah, Sparkhammer is Jackhammer. So that was always a cute trick to do. Like you do that with the trolls, Mountain King. You'd run him up and then
Just
what was
pa
it?
pa 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 pa.
Yeah, the guy would jackhammer him, and he'd fucking eat. Like he'd run up to a caster, and he'd be like, jackhammer like 5 times, you're dead.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Yeah, I also think it's hard for Colossals in SR24 being so many buildings or like terrain pieces.
True.
Because
Yeah.
it's like they can only pop like the walls and stuff, but like the obstructions, they're just like if there's 2 obstructions, it's like all right, that's in the way now.
Yep.
I could see. I wonder if I think the list that'll run double would probably be like something like Khador, like I did before, like the double victor. Excuse me, the double victor list.
I could see that because they don't have like that great of options right now.
Well, and the
Um.
Mastodon has that big, heavy mortar too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So like when you miss, you still do a ton of damage.
Yeah, AOE
Yeah.
4. I mean, your Rat 4, you're boosting for sure, right? But it's still AOE 4 with a power 16 hit.
Yeah. I mean, you're hitting on average defense 15, so at range your threat range is 20, so
Yeah.
I think you can go to 22 as priority.
probably
Or
yeah.
there's so I know there's some Barusk or Yana fun tricks that can like, or maybe Savrin that boosts his speed or something.
I think dual Mastodon could work if you end up playing where you're basically just trying to sit on objectives anyway, because it's going to be really hard to
Off,
survive the
yeah.
guns, right? There's just a lot of guns, but you get charged by one hairy little ranger or the mage assassins, mage hunter assassins, right? They get past that
Decap.
armor and they decap you. It's over.
Says the guy who.
All they got to do is get past.
Yeah, those mage
Yeah,
hunters
yeah.
with battle
I know
lusted
a
are
guy.
gross. I know a guy who got fucking
I,
rolled.
yeah, I know a guy who had to deal with that one time.
And the other thing I think the problem with like Colossals now in the current game is like there's a few ways to just make them not do anything, like Stranglehold,
There's ways to turn them off.
Powder Keg. Yeah, there's ways to turn them off, and I think that's the problem that we're gonna see with them. Like they're only gonna work some of the time. So I
Yeah.
can't see
Ham's
maybe a double Mastodon list. I could get behind that.
I think depending on, I think it'd be very niche, but I think it could play.
Yeah, we'll see how the meta develops with the Colossals in the coming future. I think what I want to know I just want concept art of the other Colossals because we only have these the three.
Well, email Doug.
That's true. I should.
Do you think Cryx is going to be another like Kraken style looking?
I don't know.
I think so. I think so. Because they're keeping with the Cryx theme. Like everything looks the same essentially.
Or do you
from
think
the
you have like
Cryx
the
theme.
machine wraith, the giant like fucking ghost looking mechanical thing because it's a factorium?
It could be, yeah.
Mm,
They
I think it's
could
gonna look.
go one of two ways. I think it'll. Well, they could go like super crazy with it and make it like a crawler, right? Like they. I don't
Well,
know.
that's kind
I
of
think
what they are. The Kraken is already. It's a crawler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just gonna because the Cryx, all the Cryx stuff seems to be on theme, as in they all look
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of like
Like
the way they did.
the light jacks look like light jacks from Cryx. The heavy jacks look like heavy jacks from Cryx. I will say though, the Mechanothralls have a really good flair to them that I think makes them look different enough.
Yeah, they've been working out for sure and getting
Yeah,
some
they're
new weapons.
Yeah, they look incredible, and I think all the casters look great too. I think
I love that
they're
the new
different
guy who
enough
came
that
out.
they're different.
The guy like he's like a giant hood. He looks like Adeptus Mechanicus gone like
Where'd
super
you see
rogue.
the picture of
I
it?
sent you a link to it yesterday.
Did you?
Maybe not yes. Yeah, yeah. Nectar Factorium Battle Group. Yeah, Goober.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. He looks like like the Dark Mechanicum. Thanks, error denied. All right.
Yeah, he does look really good. I think he's gonna look super awesome painted up. That's right. You
Yep.
did send me that.
Sure did. I just noticed he has a
Yeah,
crit.
dude.
He has a grave.
Imagine that with the cream.
Yeah, and
With
then
the
you
green.
actually what you need to
Mm.
do because we're getting apparently we might be getting gravediggers. You should put the gravediggers colors in there. Whatever we paint our gravediggers in your base.
No, I could. Yeah.
Because on the daughter of Cain, she's got a Cryx head under her boot, and then on that dude, he's got a Cryx head in his hand.
That's true. Yeah, they definitely do.
You got any extra Storm Legion heads you don't care about, AJ?
I guess. Yeah, I don't care.
There you go, Ross. There's some heads for you.
Hey, that's big. I do love putting models on my models. That's actually one of my favorite things.
Spoken like an orc at heart.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I look at like I've got my nerd wall where I put all my stuff that I'm super proud of. So I've got my giant cow. Shoot, I think it's a storm surge. I don't know, the big like artillery dude, right? And he's got my. I used to play Dark Angel, so I've got an old Dark Angels dreadnought on his base. He's standing on it. I
Nice.
love it. It's one of my favorite things.
Cool. Yeah, so there's Colossals. My predictions for the Dust Colossal are like the Halo 6 Guardians. That's all I want.
It's just a big ranger. He's just huge.
It's just a giant elf with a fucking mace.
Yeah. He just has a huge dagger. It's really a great sword, but in his hands it just looks like a dagger.
Yeah, that makes sense. You guys have anything else you want to talk about? Anything? Anything? Last call?
Don't you want to go over that thing that you wanted to talk about?
We already went over the rules. You missed your chance to bring that up, and I forgot about it. So it'll be a
I'm just
next
saying.
cast. Next time.
Okay.
Next time. Because by then we'll have
played the 75 point.
Yeah, and then we can go through the
We'll have
rank.
played with a
We
lot
can
of
go
the
through the
new
ranking.
models.
Yeah.
AJ, you'll have to help me find a way to make some of these other homies work.
Well, like I said, it's hard to do when like a quarter to half of your army is spoiled right now. Like you don't know what's your complete army, your core set. You
yeah,
don't know what's coming in your expansion, and you don't know what's coming in your cadre.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a little
cadre for them
difficult.
is gonna be spicy.
you're gonna have to clue me in. I'm a little bit behind on my terminology.
So
So go ahead.
it's like so the core. Oh, the Cryx is doing a different release schedule, but the way it's been, it's like you have your core army, which are your base troops. Usually, it's like a caster and your jacks or your war beasts, and then like a couple units. Then the expansion will have another caster, that's in the solos, and another unit or two. And the expansion will have pretty much the same thing: another caster, a unit, a solo, and usually a character. So
And then the cadre. So ideally, each army is going to have two armies. Like there's going to be a second Orgoth army. You see
Right.
the second Signar army. The cadre will work for both of them. So they're like the friendly faction mercenaries, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
So
like
yeah, they'll benefit. Oh, we talked about that. They'll benefit from all the
yeah,
rules that target like that faction.
yeah. So like my Dusk cadre will work for my the next Dusk army, which is like Fanes of Nero or something. I forget the name they're doing. Fane Knights or something. But like it'll work
Yeah,
for
makes sense.
both. But yeah, you're probably gonna have some. I don't know if they'll do. I know they'll definitely do a cadre, and then you'll have you. Will they get an apotheosis caster?
isn't everyone?
Yeah, but that was they said that everyone was doing it before they announced Cryx. So I would hope everybody's getting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll get your 3 core casters, and then you'll get an apotheosis caster, which is like a 50 mil, just different cool caster that does something cool, and then you'll get your cadre caster who does cadre things.
I mean, yeah. So we've got the 3 base casters out now.
Yeah,
We're
that's
looking
probably what it
for.
is.
Yep, that makes sense. And realistically, the jacks are out, right? The core troops are out.
Yep. Your Mechanothralls, you're missing some of your like you're probably missing your expansion, which is gonna be like those Biothralls.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of the Biothrows. They look really good. I think we'll see how the rules play on them, but they're at least gorgeous models. I'm willing to bet they'll be pretty decent.
Probably. But yeah, that kind of wraps up today. For everybody's notes, there's a videos coming out. Dusk unboxing for the cadre. If Privateer Press ever ships my box, haven't shipped yet, so that's weird because they said the 13th they were supposed to ship, so that's nice.
Of this month?
Yeah,
That's only 2 days ago. It
yeah.
might have been shipped and they just forgot the label, dog.
Hopefully, I
I've
guess
had that
I
happen
could
plenty
check
of times to me.
DJI if they've shipped it. Um, and then working on part 1 of the Garlgast video series. It'll be a whole series on how to paint the Garlgast. Part 1 will be the armor, so how to do the red, how to do the black and the gold and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have my I'll shoot you some pictures on the jack that I'm painting right now. That's what I'm gonna use to
Yeah, when I
fine
come
tune
back
my deal.
from work trip, the Cryx should be out, and then we'll have that unboxing done, and then we'll have the painting video a few weeks later after that for Cryx. So that'll be
Yeah, that
June.
sounds great.
Yeah, so June we'll have a lot of painting videos for a change. That'll be fun. Then maybe AJ can revisit his Chimera paint.
Yeah.
Because what is it? Somebody commented on the Chimera video like from ages ago. They're like, "Man, that's a cool paint, but like the color scheme was awful." And I was like, "Don't worry, we revisited it."
Yeah.
I didn't think it was awful, but like, and the more I look at it, I was like, "All right, yeah, that was kind of a mistake." I think
What colors did you paint them?
I think we were trying to combine too many different themes. Like I wanted to do like a cyberpunk like edgy like thing, and then he wanted to do something like another style, and we just tried to mix them together, and it was cool but not great.
Yeah, once you kind of got a theme, you just got to stick to it.
Yeah. But what did you settle on? Like the blue and gold, right?
Me?
Yeah, for your
No, we
Chimera.
painted it. We did purple, silver, and green, and then red on the insides.
I thought you were trying out like the blue and gold thing.
No, that was gonna be for. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Because I thought you were doing Magnus purple.
I was, and then I was gonna do the chimera purple.
Okay.
I have one sitting right in front of me.
Nice. You should paint
It's mostly painted.
it. All right. that wraps up Frostcast episode 30. Thank you all for listening. Ross, thank you for joining the team. Big appreciate.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome to the crew. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, normal YouTube things. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, thank you so much. I appreciate that because I'm terrible at growing that platform. All right. See y'all later.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
He's so sweet.